Senator boats have been around since 1996. At the captain's disposal, we have two Senator RH770s, skippered by two of the best fishos in this neck of the woods. Right now, we're at Tirawa Lodge in Marlborough Sounds, which is located right at the top of New Zealand's South Island. This is seriously stunning country. The area is made up of ancient sea-drowned valleys. If you check it out on a map, it's a maze of islands that would take a lifetime to fully explore. Unfortunately for us though, we only have a couple of days to check out this region, but we're in good hands. Say kia ora to Mark Cotton and Dan Govier, both 770 owners and both weapons on the fishing front. My first impression of the Senators is that everything looks rugged and over-engineered. These rigs have been used by commercial operators for years, and I can instantly see why. They're also pontoon boats, which means they're going to be super stable. The 770s have got sharp points of entry into the water and a variable dead rise hull that runs back to 18 degrees at the transom. On paper, they should be a pretty good thing. Just don't ask me what the RH in RH770 stands for. What is it, Mark? Recreational hardtop. For all you Aussies, you'll be happy to hear they're 2.49 metres wide and have a tow weight of around 3.5 tonne with fuel and all the gear. When it comes to plate thickness, we've got a 6mm hull, 4mm floor and 3mm pontoons. Senators also pride themselves on offering full customer customizations. Just check out how different Mark and Dan's boats are. Both 770s, but each have been set up differently to suit each owner. The boys will fill you in a little bit more on that later. So that's it for me. We're going to slay a few more of these Heinekens, go check into our digs for the night, and hit the water tomorrow.
My name's Dan Govier. I am an environmental consultant, live in Nelson and love my fishing.
My name's Mark Cotton, a retail manager at a little local diving fishing shop in Nelson called the Big Blue Dive and Fish. My second Senator, I had the 650 before this, and that was a fraternal twin with Dan. So me and Dan got two completely different 650s at the same time, and then now we've progressed on, we've got two different 770s at the same time. And as you'll see from the boats, they're completely different. Like his style's different from my style, which is unique, and it just shows how awesome Senator is at customizing and changing it up to suit people.
The ride of the Senator, I would say I can't fault it. I would say very soft into the waves. If you launch out the top of a wave, you don't sort of grit your teeth and wait for a loud, a loud bang or anything like that. It always comes down soft, that nice fine entry. With a following sea, it's very, very good, and I've never ever felt like it would broach on me. So the plan is tonight we'll have a nice meal, and then tomorrow morning we'll get up early, head to the outer sounds, see what the weather allows. At the moment the weather's looking pretty good, but the plan is to go and chase a few snapper, hopefully some kingfish, either jigging or top water, and then likewise, if the weather allows, maybe chase a groper as well on the slack tide. But weather dependent, and the outer Marlborough Sounds, it can be forecast one thing and it does another thing. So it's a matter of just waking up in the morning and see what we've got.
But the weather turned out to be amazing. See, the birds are all waiting. There's always pressure when you take people out, but we managed to pull it out of the bag, and to get your PB king was awesome. They're not the giants that I wanted, but they're still solid kings. We've just turned up to Stephen's Passage, Stephen Island. This is the top of the South Island. Lots of current comes through here, and it's pushed through from the east going through to the west here. We've got the incoming tide, and that's just pushing all that nutrients up, which is just bringing all the little plankton and that sort of carry on in, which brings all the carwai and bait fish in. At the moment we're in about 40 metres, and the bank pushes up to 20. All the bait fish gets pushed up this bank, and the kingies aren't far behind. And at the moment we're going to try and land some giant kingfish. Fish on. Just hooked up, lads. Top water. We just noticed the sounder has just lit up. Do you want to drop a jig down? Yeah. Oh, look at him. There's a couple of crackers there, dude. So Jack dropped a jig but didn't pick one up, and then they're moving up towards the surface, so we managed to get one on. Whew, a bit shattered after that. Just basically cast a couple of winds in, and he smashed it on top water. Yeah, noticed them closer to the surface. They were about 20 metres thick actually. Whew, a scrappy little fella though. Probably about, I don't know, 16 to 18 kilos. Somewhere around there maybe. Yeah, good fight, man. Good fight. Wasn't quite ready for him. You never are. At least it didn't bust off. Yeah, Roger, we're in two. Fish on. Oh, he's bigger. He's bigger than the last one.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. That's a good king, dude. Look at it. Look at that. That's a good king, dude. Oh, mate. Yeah, that's a good king. That's real good.
What do we reckon? How big is this?
Oh, he's definitely over 20. Definitely over 20. But no, that's a solid fish. It was fought weird, eh? It didn't really battle, but it just sort of hung in. But that's the foul hook we caught it, didn't you?
Far out.
But that's a solid king.
On a stick bait as well, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so in all the current here, like I said earlier, is all the nutrients from the cold water is getting pushed up, and all the carwine that are feeding, on all the bait fish here, and so the kingies are closer behind. And there's lots today, man. Like those schools are massive, man.
Huge.
So we should be able to keep working them and hopefully get some even bigger ones, man.
Beauty.
Yeah, so we got 3 kingies today. I say the first one was probably around about 18, it's hard to say, but 16 to 20 kilo. And I think the next 2 were probably around that 25 kilo mark, maybe a little bit more. The kingies here in New Zealand, they've got well, especially here down this part of the country, they're just a lot girthier, eh? Really, really girthy. Bit like me, actually. Welcome on board my Senator 770. Just going to run through a few of the customised features I've got on board Infamous. So I'm running Simrad all through the rig. I've got a 16 in the dash, a 12-inch NSS Evo up on the dash, and a 9-inch out the back, so you can see, the guys out the back can see the fish as well clearly, or see what's going on. I've also got the radar as well, halo radar on the roof, and also running a TM275 low-high wide chirp transducer and a total scan, and that's powered by the S5100 Simrad module to run high chirp and that sort of carry on. One of the most insane lighting setups on board. I'm running Lumishore lighting, and it's over the top. I've got LED strips everywhere. I've got underwater lights, I've got the gunnel lights, I've got the in-cabin lights, I've got lights around the outside, UV lights in the bait board, and they can do all colours from pinks, blue, whites, green. And I like it that way because when I'm squid fishing, I can put white underwater lights on. When I want to scare sharks away at night because they're around the boat, I'll put the blue on. If I want to track bait fish, I can put green on. So having the different lights and changing them sets the mood, and adding a bit of music at 400,000 decibels actually makes it pretty cool on board. So the design process for a long time, I really wanted a boat that would work for me with the amount of tackle and the amount of different style of fishing I do. I've got so many tackle trays that I wanted to consolidate it into one and have it all in the boat ready to go all the time for whatever species we're targeting. So that's where I designed all the custom jaws to suit the Shimano tackle trays. They'd all slot in there perfectly, and then basically, yeah, just customize it all so it would work for my style of fishing, and it was also really simple and really practical as well.
For me, I love fitting out boats, customising them to how they best suit my fishing, what gets the best out of the boat for me. And each boat I've had, I've improved on and learned on, and I think I'm pretty close with what I've got now. Welcome aboard my Senator boats, RH770 Aquadesiac. Just going to do a bit of a run through on some of the custom features that I've put into this boat and show it how it improves my fishing. One of the things where it all starts from is a good electronics package. So I'm running a Furuno package. I've got a 19-inch on the dash of the boat and then a 12-inch bracket mounted up on top of the dash. I like to have 2 screens running so that I can have one with my sounder dedicated to the sounder and then one also with the chart plotter on it as well. So we've got the 1 kilowatt TM275 transducer, so that's for my deep dropping. We're also running the DFF 3D triple beam transducer as well. With the multi-beam transducer, what it does is it shows a swath underneath the boat at 120 degrees, so 40 degrees below, 40 degrees to port, 40 degrees to starboard. So anything that is within that zone below the boat, you can see them. Once you see a school of fish out to the side of the boat, you can touch a screen, go to, and it shows up on your chart plotter out to the side. So yeah, the fish just don't stand a chance these days when you've got good electronics on board. So we've got a Califont on board that gives us hot water. I've got a 150 litre fuel tank under the front hold in the cabin. So we can fill that up and that'll last us for a couple of days. We've got a hot shower on board as well. But with the hot water, we can fill up the sink, wash our dishes, clean them, dry them down. I've got a little serving tray beside it, which put them on to drain, and then we're all ready for the next morning.
The other thing is, is that classic story that you can never have enough rods. The other thing is having enough rod holders. So we've actually got 53 rod holders. I've got 23 up top, 10 on each gunnels, 10 on each pockets there, and 10 across the back. So she can hold just about every rod under the sun.
So on the front of the boat, we've got a 87-inch Terova Minn Kota. I've got a lithium battery underneath to keep the weight down. So I've got a 36-volt single battery. It only weighs 38 kilos, so it saves me basically about 70 kilos in running AGM batteries deep cycle. So it means I can have one battery with it mounted, got a customised mount down low and central, and it doesn't alter the behaviour of the boat.
From there, basically I've got my custom bait board there, and as you've seen from the bait board, it's kind of a really different bait board. I mean, I like it just sort of wide and basic with the pockets to put all the bits and pieces. And then I've got a drawer in there as well. That's got a blue light. I've got the white LEDs at night as well. And then I've got that UV strip in there. And that UV strip's really good for supercharging the bottom bangers, my custom lures, and also all the Shimano glow lures for low light or night fishing and that sort of carry on. And then out the back, yeah, I've got a full walk-through transom with the live bait well, and then a little bin that stores underneath, and I've got tuna tubes on the left-hand side. I haven't gone with the walk-through transom purely because most of the time we're fishing in such shit weather that we're backing into it, and having a stable platform with those big kings, like you experienced, the power in those things are ridiculous. So I found the slide-in doors were really uncomfortable to play a fish against, but now with Dad too, so now probably I would go with a walk-through transom, just purely for getting in and out of, just making life way easier.
Powering the boat with a Yamaha F300, got the Helmmaster fitted as well. It's the V6 motor, heaps of power, pushes along real nicely, it gets up and goes, good for the bar crossings. The other feature right on the very bow beside the Minn Kota is a boarding ladder. That's great for getting on and off the beaches. The Senators have got quite a high bow on them. So when you're trying to get on and off a beach or where there's no jetty at a boat ramp, makes it very hard, whereas that boarding ladder is nice and easy. So a lot of my fishing is either at night, either in the morning before light or after dark. So I'm going and coming in the dark generally. Got a lot of lights on the boat, underwater lights from the back, and then lights on the back transom, over the side, back floodlights, front spotlights, and the FLIR camera as well. So that's all set up for my night fishing and travelling in the dark. So I've got a FLIR camera, which is the infrared camera running through the Marlborough sounder. So coming and going, that's great, especially if there's anyone out there without lights, etc. So that's another peace of mind. Oh, who's got the better boat? Tough question. I'd be lying if I didn't say me, and I'm sure that'll be the same answer that Mark gives as well. The boats are very similar in terms of the hull. Well, they are exactly the same hull, but when you look at them, they couldn't be further apart. They're almost chalk and cheese, right down to the motor. The motors are different colours, the wraps are completely different colours, it's got different electronics package on board. But that's the great thing that Senator boats do. They accommodate to what you need and how you use them. And I think we both show here how we use our boats quite differently. And I've got a few extra home comforts on board for the family. helps me get it over the line with the wife to have flush toilet and running water and all of that. But you know, you can't fault any boat. They're both beautiful boats. Every boat Senator builds is fantastic, and yeah, every boat is good. They're just different, that's all.